Yep, I got 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
You know, it's hot in here, now it's cold.
I know, it's kind of chilly. Here. What was
I see Reverend Murphy.
See who? Reverend Murphy? I don't see him. You see him?
Was he supposed to be here?
Yeah, he's up. Do you see any other pastors?
I see no other pastors.
Reverend Murphy's not here. Yeah, I think it's Tuesday.
Instead of Tuesday.
By the way, I think this was Sally Birdsall's increase to 7.
Yes, it was.
That's on the new, I didn't look at it.
It's on the new one
Probably
on
corrected
the
on
computer, yeah.
See if this guy will do it. I don't know who else. If not, we'll be good. Gary. Do it? Oh, I need. What's her name? Minister. You ready? So you ready?
Ready?
Good evening, everyone. This is the City of Mobile Commission meeting for November 14th, 2016. The approximate time is 6:34. Roll call, please.
Mayor Santiago.
Here.
Commissioner Ennis.
Here.
Commissioner Precca-Compari.
Here.
Commissioner Sui.
Here.
We'll now have Minister Melissa Watts do the invocation, followed by the salute to the flag. You want to step up, ma'am? Right to the microphone, right up here. I don't see Reverend.
Can we just bow our heads and look unto the Lord? Father, we thank you for this evening, Lord God. We thank you how you kept us all through this day, God. Thank you for blessing us to get here safely, God. Now we pray, God, that your presence be in this room, God, that everything that is said and done is according to your word, and we will be mindful to give you all the honor, the glory, and the praises. In the mighty name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much, Minister Watts. This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975, was advertised, posted, and made available to the public as required by statute. The municipal clerk is directed to include a statement in the minutes of the meeting. Madam Clerk?
Yes, Mayor, there's a few changes to the agenda. Item 2, the city clerk to present the certification of election results is being removed, along with 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, and 2.5. And this is because the results of the election are still being processed. and the Board of Elections may convene on Wednesday, November 16th, 2016, to certify the results to the county clerk, and then the county clerk has 3 days after that to certify the results to the city. Therefore, a special meeting has been scheduled of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Millville for November 28th, 2016 at 5 p.m. in order to have these items on the agenda at that time. Also, a change on page 4, resolution item 5, the dollar amount today changed from 5,000 to 7,000, and I do have an updated certification of funds that I received from Marcy Shepherd.
That's item 4, I think.
Item, yeah, it is 20.4.
Thank you.
And the last change is on page 7. Item 19, resolution appointing Regina Burke as administrator part-time. That will be effective 12/2/16 and not for a specific term. And I have no further changes, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I would like to have, before we get started, I'd like to call up Sergeant Cindy Sedroga. I have a letter here from Chief Farabella, who's not with us today. He's on vacation. And I didn't approve it, but he took it anyway. He wanted us to make sure that we would recognize Cindy Sedroga, not only our first female supervisor, but also that she's doing an outstanding job. So I want to read this from the chief, and then we'll have the captain and myself will make some comments. From Chief Farabella, I would like to apologize to Sergeant Cindy Sedroga for not being in attendance. I've had this vacation planned for quite some time, and unfortunately, I cannot rearrange the week. When I received the news that Sergeant Sedroga was overwhelmingly number 1 in her class for the frontline supervision, I could not have been more proud of her accomplishments. Sergeant Cindy Sedroga, upon being promoted to sergeant, has done a very good job leading her squad, and I know she will continue to do so. I would like to congratulate her on an honor that she's going to receive tonight. She has set the standard high for future sergeants to strive and achieve. And I know we have some spokespeople here from the academy. Raise your hand. Is anybody here? No? I don't see them. I'm sorry? I don't think they haven't made it yet? Okay. Well, good. Captain, come on up. Put him right on the spot.
I'd just like to say that I'm overwhelmingly proud of Cindy, the job that she's doing. She's always been a joy to work with, and she makes us very proud. And I know as I look around, and Lieutenant Kramer and myself, we're our twilight years of our career, it's nice to know that we have people like Cindy that are going to carry the department forward. And I'm just so proud of you, Cindy.
I guess we made a good pick then in promoting Cindy. Absolutely. When you go to these supervision schools, you can just go there and sit around and listen and then pass your test. Obviously, Cindy did more than that. She took it seriously, and then she brought it back to the men and women that she supervised within the police department. So I'm proud of her also. I knew that she had it in her. The process, I know a lot of people don't know the process that we do when we promote within the police department. I gather chiefs, captains, lieutenants from other departments that have retired, and we set up a committee, and we have questions that these officers, correct? Go up against. And these ladies and men that are retired or some still working drill our new applicants or our officers that are going to be promoted. I know Harry Kramer went through it, and Cindy went through it. And they do an outstanding job. So it's not an easy process that we do. So, Cindy, congratulations. I'm very proud of you because you've come a long way. So thank you for your service. Says she has to go back to work. Thank you. She's actually going to be recognized by the academy, but they're not here yet. So if they show up, we'll call you back. All right, minutes.
Make a motion to approve and dispense with the reading of the October 16th, 2016 work session minutes and October 18th closed session minutes. Guess they're all the 18th. And October 18th commission meeting minutes.
Second.
Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perka Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve and dispense with the reading of the November 1st, 2016 work session minutes and November 1st, 2016 commission meeting minutes.
Second.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perka Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve and dispense with the reading of the November 8th, 2016 special meeting minutes and proceed to the regular order of business.
Second.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perka Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes. Resolutions, please.
Yes, may I have a resolution authorizing transfers in the calendar year 2016 budget appropriations?
Move the resolution.
Second it.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perka Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
No further resolutions at this time, Mayor.
Bills, please.
Make a motion we pay the bills.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perka Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes. We've now reached the public comment portion of this meeting for agenda items only. If anybody would like to make a comment on an agenda item, please step up to the podium, state your name, your address, and your concerns.
My name is Tom Ayers. I live at 211 North 11th Street. I want to talk about the Baker Tilly report, which
Yes.
is a resolution tonight about the forwardness to the HUD for some reason. I have really no idea. Now, my question, first of all, is have you all read the whole report?
I have.
I have.
I have.
I have not.
You have not?
No, sir.
Mayor?
Yes.
Okay. Now, there are several items in that report are like either false or somewhat skewed somewhere. And first of all, on the first thought report was it says on CDBG programs, this report $2.some million is put forward on 10 years. That is the whole report of the CDBG program. Now, at the end, when you take out the administrative fees and everything else, there's a $450,000 is actually put toward that thing. So, I think it's skewed to start with.
You're saying all but $450,000 of the grant are admin fees?
No, I'm saying the report says $2.some million is in there for 9 years. But only $450,000 is for housing rehab. So how is that accurate there?
It included more than just CDBG. It also included the
No.
RAD money.
Separately, it said CDBG $2.some million, which is inaccurate.
And what page is it?
Check it out. You guys read this thing or the whole thing, or just the 300 some was about 300 some thousand dollars per year was the whole grant, but only $50,000 per year was put for housing rehab. So when they came with the final number, how does that work out? I don't understand that.
Well, if what you're telling me, I'm looking for what page I can tell you, but 9 times, what would you say, 50 is $450,000.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what page you're talking about. Where
You
you're
should
getting
know
your
that.
numbers.
You should know that.
I have, this
know
is,
what
this
page
is the
on the
report. I don't know what page you're referring to. I have it in front of me.
You know. Okay. How about this? Take my word for it.
I would prefer to read it.
Okay, all right. Now they have it, in this report it says, when a person is approved for for a program, a lien is put on the property. Not true.
They sign a mortgage. A
Right,
mortgage is
right.
a lien.
When the project is done, not when they are approved for the thing. True or not?
I don't know what procedure they were following then.
Why not? I don't understand that.
Everything that we looked at, when we looked at it, there were so many discrepancies in the rules of the program that a lot of the things we couldn't make heads or tails of. What we're doing now is they sign the mortgage before the work is done.
They sign the mortgage when the project is done, correct or not?
I don't know what they were doing back then. I cannot find a pattern for anything that they were doing.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Here's how it works. Somebody comes in, it's approved.
I'm sorry, but you're not in the department now, so you don't know what we're doing
Baker Tilly said that when they're approved for the program, a lien is put on the property. Not true. Not true at all. When the project is done, everybody signs off, and then the lien is put on the property. Is that correct or not?
No, because a lot of times the mortgage was never signed, and a lot of times the inspections were never done. So what you're saying did not occur.
What I'm saying is not true. Is that what you're saying? You're saying I'm a liar on that one?
I said what you're saying did not happen in all the cases. I did not.
In
call
all
you
the
a
cases.
liar.
Okay. So in how many cases?
It's in here. They looked at 57 different loans. There was information missing in all 57.
Okay. So now I'm saying to you, okay, just for like a small example. Okay. A person gets in there, right? They qualify for the program. And then nobody does an inspection. Nobody does a work right up at all. And then money gets dispersed somehow. And somehow somebody's missing somewhere. Is that right?
That was some of the findings, yes. We have to go back and check if the
That
work
is
was
so
done.
bizarre. That's so bizarre. It's strange.
When we look at the files, there are no bid specs in there. Were no permits pulled, so we don't know if the work was actually done or not for some of them, yes.
That is so strange to me because, I'll tell you one thing. When somebody applies to this program, you're telling me that nobody did an inspection of the property, there was no work right up and no inspection, and then it was a voucher issued by the city and paid for this work, and the homeowner signed off on it, and the contractor signed off on it, and work wasn't done?
A lot of times we do not have the signature of the homeowner that they signed off on the project. That is what we're finding when we looked at the files. I find it unbelievable, too, that is what was done, but that is what was done.
I think it's so bizarre. It's strange to me because the HUD audit says we did a good job. True or not?
The HUD audit, are you talking about ITIS, the program that they fill out?
Yeah.
That they just fill out. They don't have to submit any proof with
The
it.
HUD comes here every year and inspects this program.
The HUD has not been here in the 3 years that I have been in office.
Why not?
I don't know. You'd have to ask them.
Well, I have a thing here that says from Bowen Associates says it's this right here. It says all projects 2013 and before are completed from Bowen Associates.
I had a conversation with Bowman Associates because I found discrepancy in the audit report when I first took office, and they told me they don't look at the grant programs.
What? Are you kidding me? What? Bowen Associates says all projects on CDBG were completed in 2013 and 2014 are underway.
Mr. Ayers, you have about a minute left.
I'd like to see that report because when I talk to them, are you
I
talking
got
about
off the city's website. So here it said all 2013 and before are completed.
when I met with them, there were discrepancies and there were some issues.
How can be I cannot be. The report they gave to you says they're all done.
I completely agree with you that it doesn't make sense. That's why it was investigated, and that's why we're going to continue to investigate it because it doesn't make sense to me either.
On the other hand, why doesn't this Baker Tilly thing go to 2014 and 15?
They did 2014 and 15. They did look at some 2014 and 15 things.
Okay, and how many projects have been done in that then?
I don't have the exact number.
None. There's about 5 rehab projects.
We were using,
The home money has been sent back.
Mr. Ayers.
The home money has been sent back now.
All right, then
there were,
that's his- that's
True
his
or not?
time.
True or not?
Mr.
home
Ayers,
money has
Mr.
not
Ayers, your
been-
time is up.
that's
Thank
not
you.
true.
Thank Mr.
The home
Ayers.
money- the
Mr.
home money
Ayers.
was sent
Mr.
back
Ayers.
because you
your-
didn't spend it. That's
Your
fine.
time is up.
Thank
Have a seat. You're welcome.
I don't have a problem answering that. We were spending the COA money, which we had to spend by a certain time frame. The home funds were never submitted to Violin for reimbursement. We just sent over $70,000 up there to be reimbursed, and they're investigating it. So we did use the home money, and we did not use maybe CDBG for COA because we had to use the COA money up or lose $150,000 of that.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mayor, I'd just like to conclude, three quarters of that report I did read, and I'm not convinced nor prepared to move forward that the past administration did something that was of ill intent. I'm not prepared to do that at all.
Betty Money, I cannot sit here and let this happen. I felt too many years when I saw that money being wasted, even before, the years before this audit took place. I took photographs. I went to City Hall. It fell on deaf ears. When I got too nosy, they pulled everything out of the main office, moved it to the 5th floor, and Kim Walker took over that whole department and ran everything. When I was taking pictures, she said, "You can't be going around taking pictures of these homes. You're scaring the homeowners." And I said to her,
Betty, is this about an agenda item?
This is about that agenda item. Continue with that investigation.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Too many years I fought for this. And I'm willing to go testify if
Very
I
good.
have to, because this is so wrong. They got away with this for years, and now they're trying to. Some people didn't even live in the house. They lived in Florida, and then they would get it for the house again and live in Florida. So read the whole report. And if he wants to talk to me privately, we'll have a private conversation. And I just
Okay.
bought a box of stuff today, so hopefully there'll be stuff in there. Thank you.
Thank you, Betty.
Emma Andrews, Millville. I was also involved in all of these things that were going on. You can't really say that they were shady, but they weren't right. They need to be investigated. They need to find out what happened and what didn't happen. There were companies that said they did the work, especially one roofing and siding company, and the work didn't get done. There were people that said they didn't get their work done, but yet the work was paid for. So we really need to go on with this investigation. The only people that are afraid to have the investigation is because they're afraid they're going to find something. And we need to bring it forth, and we need to get it done. And I have another box of information also.
Thank you.
I expect you all to send these investigations over to HUD. It's not going to cost.
Can you give us your name and your address, please?
Angeline Broomhall, Millville. Sorry.
We know you, Angeline, but other people don't.
Sorry. It's not going to cost us anything to do this. It's not going to hurt anybody who's innocent. It's just an investigation. If nothing's wrong, there's nothing to be lost. There's nothing that's going to cost the city. If there's corrections that we can make to move forward so that the program can be done more efficiently in the future, HUD will find that out too. There's no reason. There is a reason not. If we don't do it, we can be accomplices. The entire city, all of us, will be responsible for noting a crime is being committed or potentially being committed and not notifying the authorities. That is our responsibility. It's not our responsibility to know who's guilty, who's innocent, but it is the proper authority's responsibility. And if we don't notify them, I personally can do it on my own. I'm willing to do so. I'll submit the audit report on my own. But I would hope that my elected officials, especially the Director of Public Safety and Undersheriff and retired city police officer, would understand the implications of being an accomplice and not reporting it to the proper authorities for full investigation. They find nothing wrong, wonderful. If they do, then we can correct it and move forward. Thank you.
Thank you for being nice to me.
Tim Cardi Millville. The same thing about the forensic audit. It's not going to cost us anything to send it to HUD. And how much money did we spend to get it done? That was taxpayers' money that could have been used for other things. So I would say just go ahead and send it to HUD and let them come up with a final agreement. That way it's not wasted tax money like it normally was in the past. Let the truth be known. Thank you.
You're welcome, Tim. Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing no one, I close. Somebody else?
Can you talk twice?
No. Sorry.
You can talk at the end again if you wish.
I now close the public portion part on the agenda items only. Let me go into old business, please.
Yes, Mayor, I just need a motion to receive and file the reports from the purchasing agent, please.
Can I
Make
get
a motion to receive and file?
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins-Coie?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
No further old business, Mayor?
Petitions and letters, please.
No petitions and letters.
Reports of commissioners. Commissioner Sui.
All right, first with Revenue and Finance, we had a discussion at the work session about water and sewer turn-off policies and procedures, and we are unfortunately not complying with state statute under our current procedure, so we will be rewriting that procedure so that we can comply with state statute. Also, we have the commissioner reports for months of September and October. Motion to receive and file.
Second motion?
Any comments on that? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins-Coie?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
All right, from the streets and roads, we picked up 123 tons of brush from November 1st through November 12th, and we should be done with that brush collection at the start of next week. And we lost a day with the leaves and grass clipping, so due to Veterans Day, so that'll be okay. And Peach Drive storm drain, final restoration of the street will be done this week. So that job will be out of the way. And that's it for that. Now we have the good stuff. So for that, we bring up Samantha Cruz to give out our Scarecrow Contest winners.
I'm so excited. I have all these victims. You are always excited. I got all these victims that I get to talk to tonight. I'm so excited because I love spreading all my good news from the rec department because we got tons of it. So can I do that first and then we'll give the awards? Okay. So we do have a lot of things going on in the rec department, and everybody always goes, well, what do you do when the grass stops growing? What are you doing? Well, to believe it or not, right now we're through our phases of winterization for all of our baseball fields and all those sorts of things. And actually next week, we're going to start putting up Christmas decorations. So that is always a very festive time for us. We're very excited about that. So we'll be putting up snowflakes this end of this week, and our Christmas tree will be up by the Christmas parade. So we're always excited about that. So a couple of events I have going on. The Holly City Striders, we have that every Tuesday and Thursday night at Lakeside Middle School from 6:30 to 7:30. So it's a free walking club. You feel free to join them. One of the unfortunate things, but it is a very good ceremony, is the candle lighting ceremony for those children that have been lost with us. Doesn't matter what age, if you lost your child, no matter how old or how young, we still celebrate their life at this ceremony. So if you'd like to enter your child, feel free to give me a call. We put photos up. It is a very nice ceremony, and that would be December 11th at 6 o'clock at the American Legion. And I have all my Scarecrow friends here, so they will be excited to know that we did rework the wreath contest from last year. They were very small, and people kind of got a little upset that they were, hard to see. So we are going to move to doing a lamppost decoration. So they're actually going to be able to decorate the entire lamppost down on High Street that they get assigned. So we're very excited about that. I have flyers up here, so please take one. Business organizations, individuals, we'd love to have a good turnout for the lamppost decorating. So no further ado, we'll go ahead and give out these awards for the Scarecrow contest because you've been.
Hand out the trophy.
All right, come on down.
Okay, can I do that?
Come on. You can come on down. As long as you do it with a smile, that's all. People aren't allowed in 15th Street unless they're smiling. I kick them out. Anywho, the best business, Kavanaugh and Kavanaugh. Is anyone here from? Oh, I'm so sorry. Come on up. So they won the best business, Scarecrow. Very fine job. I'm just going to need you to sign this before you leave. But the best Scarecrow business, they're going to win $25 from the Millville Municipal Alliance. That's all the donations came in through Millville Municipal Alliance, and we're going to be giving cash donations out for them. The next one I've got here is the funniest. My elk friends, come on up. I must have called her like 80 times about her voucher and everything to get everyone paid. So congratulations. They got the funniest Scarecrow. Congratulations. Do I have anybody here from Brown's? The scariest Scarecrow? All right, I'll go ahead and get that. Brown's Pest Management received the scariest Scarecrow. The next one would be the Best of Show, and that's going to go to the RRCA. A very fine job of Pat Witt. Thank you very much. Best in Show did receive a $50 donation back to the organization. And I only saved this one because there's a little bit of detail to go with it. So we put together this big campaign on Facebook and media, and almost over 3,000 votes came in for the Scarecrow Awards. And we're really, really excited about that because that's a lot to move. I think that's almost more than some people went out to vote sometimes. So not this particular election, but in off-season elections, it was very high. So our People Choice Award goes to Holly Heights School, our candy girl, and they will not be receiving their check because they've donated it back to the Millville Municipal Alliance. So we really do appreciate that. Thank you. So I do apologize for any mess ups there, but this is the biggest crowd I've probably spoken to at a commission meeting, so I apologize for that. Anything going on out there that the rec department should get involved with, want to partner with, please give me a call. Volunteerism, whatever it is, I'd be more than willing to help you do what you need to do to make our community better. So thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
Good job, Sam.
One more good job to the school board. The boys basketball team was out as part of our use of our Clean Communities grant, cleaning up the alleyway off of Garrison between 3rd and 4th Streets. So,
Awesome.
yeah, they did a great job, and it was good to have them out there. So, thank you, Mr. Rose. And with that,
Excellent.
Progress.
Thank you. Commissioner Ennis.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the water plant. We've been talking about changing the hours of operation as far as the employees are concerned. One of the things that we noticed when I was first elected here was that there were several deficiencies at the water plant, and I recommended at that time to the superintendent of water that there needs to be 24-hour coverage here because some of the equipment at the plant has not been replaced since 1968. And I went to a hearing in Trenton when we had a problem with LaMonica Foods, and in that hearing I learned something, that when the DEP gets involved, you really need to have your business in order. After that meeting in Trenton, they came down here, and the young lady stated there were several questions, if most of you who were here remember, that we had for DEP. And at that time, they stated that if they had to return because of negligence, and that's the word that they used on our part, that there would not be a whole lot of room for grace. I've learned that there's talk of partnering with Landage Sewage Authority, which I guess is not a bad idea, but I think we need to maintain our own issues. And again, a lot of the equipment there has not been replaced or, in some instances, even been corrected since 1968, I'm told. Now I'm 51, so do your math. That's an issue. So it's been recommended, and I think we've already put it into practice, that we now have 24-hour coverage in manpower. We're not depending on electronic devices or not depending on SCADA to do the things that physical manpower needs to do. I bring that up because I just learned recently about the discussion in the meeting that I wasn't able to attend, that there was some talk about LSA, Land and Sewage Authority, coming in to help us, which again is not a bad recommendation, but I think we need to move forward with handling our own business. And with that, Mayor, I have no further discussion.
Thank you. Commissioner Perry.
Yes, we held our last demolition hearing back in December of 2015, and government does move slowly. We're finally getting those demolitions going. The houses that will be demolished are 301, 303 Green Street, 816 Archer, 409 and 411 Mulberry Street, 712, 714 Buck Street, 1015 North Street, and 553 Columbian Avenue, and then there's also an outbuilding at 520 Columbia Avenue. They pulled the permits to do 712, 714 Buck Street, so that should be done shortly. We have completed from this demolition group Broad Street properties in the 200 and 300 block, and also a fire demolition that was on South 2nd Street. The rental registration fees have increased over $70,000 from the previous year. This is a result of the changing of the procedure and actively going after the individuals that did not pay the registration fees and charging them the late fees. This was not done previously. The foreclosure fees have increased $170,000 this year, so that's a bonus for the city. We still have 2 months to go, so we'll see how high we get in the next 2 months. We're still working on the loans from the Community Development Block Grants, the Home Funds, and the RAD loans. Letters were sent out to all the open loan holders requesting proof that they're still residing in the property. This is a requirement of the loan. Thank you to the Revenue and Finance Department. They helped us with that, so that was appreciated. There's a resolution on tonight to forward the information from the forensic audit, as was discussed previously, to the HUD Inspector General. The more we go through these loans, the more we're finding that was done wrong. The process to go through these loans is going to take a long time, but the staff is committed to getting this done. We're moving forward. New procedures have been put in place, and this will not happen again. Progress.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner, I guess it's my Public Safety Department. I have nothing to report from the Fire Department or the Police Department. So with that, progress.
Yeah,
I got a Fire Department?
Yeah.
I can't get it up, though.
I move to receive and file the Fire
Thank you.
Department Summary of Activity Report for the month of October,
Second the motion.
2016.
Mine's not coming up for some reason. Okay.
I have it here if you want it, Mike.
All right, can I see it? Thank you. Let me read it anyway, since I have the copy here. This is from Chief Lippincott. Total emergencies responded, 107 year-to-date, 1,003. Breakdown for the month: fire calls, which were structures and dwellings, were 4. Multi-alarm fires were 2. All hands fire 2. Second alarm 0 and third alarm 0. Fire calls to vehicles 0. Fire calls for brush, trash were 3. Rescue and motor vehicle crashes were 24. Water and ice rescues were 0. Hazardous condition non-fire was 16. General service assistance to the public were 5. Good intent calls were 6, and false alarm were 49. Total man hours for the for the Fire Department emergencies was 486. Work details 2. Drills and training were 1. Under fire prevention, they visited every elementary school and provided fire prevention for all kindergarten through 5th grade classes in the city. Smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors were inspected. 20 last month. Year-to-date, 252. Fire safety permits issued for the month were 12. Year-to-date were 80. Life hazard fire inspections for the month were 56. Year-to-date were 452. And that's from Chief Lippincott. I'll now have that followed in.
Can I just do a roll call, please? Mayor?
Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Prickett-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes,
Thank you.
that's all I have.
And I believe we need to go back and receive and file the Cumberland County Health Reports, please,
Oh, I did
under
see
number
that.
13. If I could just have a motion for that.
Make a motion that the reports for Cumberland County Health Department be received and filed.
Can I get a second?
Second the motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkin-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ordinance on first reading.
Yes, an ordinance amending
Give
the
the
salary
calendar.
ordinance to reflect the creation of a new part-time title, Management Information Systems Coordinator.
Move the ordinance on first reading with second reading on Tuesday, December 6th.
Second the motion?
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
No.
Commissioner Perkin-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
No further ordinances on first reading.
Ordinance on second reading, please.
And there are no ordinances on second reading.
Resolutions, please.
Yes, a resolution authorizing special assessment of municipal liens for certain properties due to expenses incurred by the city relating to cut and clean.
Move the resolution.
Second the motion.
Any comments?
I do,
Go
Mayor.
ahead.
This program was a joint effort between the Department of Public Affairs and the Department of Parks and Public Property. This year, 156 cleanups were done. Over $70,000 has been assessed on the properties that were cleaned up, and that should all be recouped from the city. I want to thank everyone that was involved in the program. Your employees worked very hard, so thank you, Samantha. She's here tonight. And the individuals that did the cleanups, they worked very, very hard. I appreciate it. We had a good year.
Anything else?
That says it all.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkin-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes. Before I go any further, they just recovered some car keys. Anybody lose their car keys? They're on that table? Okay. Before we get into this, I'm sorry, go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Sure. A resolution authorizing award of contract to Worth and Company for the wastewater treatment plant Phase 2 upgrade. And I'll pass this over to Commissioner Ennis.
Move the resolution.
And we're down to
We need certification of funds.
Got it.
Got it.
It's coming.
And I have certification of funds in the amount of $7,239,100, signed by the Chief Financial Officer, Marcellus Shepard.
Second the motion?
Any comments?
Yes, I know, Dave, you said water plant, but I think you meant sewer plant upgrades. We were talking about that in the 24-hour coverage on the SCADA system. So, yeah, this is an upgrade of the sewer plant, which hasn't been upgraded in quite a while. The SCADA system was originally installed, and this has nothing to do with that, but the SCADA system was originally installed so that there wouldn't have to be 3 shifts, so that it could be monitored electronically. We have, however, had some human error failures that cause that to work improperly, so that's the reason, and I agree with Dave, with Commissioner Ennis at this point in doing that 3-shift thing, so with that progress.
And I just want to say $7 million is a lot of money, but it actually represents $4 million that we save the taxpayers by talking about the project, cutting it back a little bit, changing things around. So we ended up saving quite a bit of money, and the upgrades are definitely needed.
Any other comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkin-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
And a resolution authorizing second amendment to the professional service contract adopted by Resolution 100-2016 in March of 2016 with Blaney and Caravan for Special Labor Counsel for the balance of 2016. And there's the cert.
I move the resolution of certification of funds in the amount of $10,000.
Second the motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
No.
Commissioner Perkin-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
And a resolution authorizing second amendment to professional service contract with Sarah Birdsall, Greenwich, New Jersey, to perform as planning consultant for an amount of $7,000. And here's that cert.
And we have certification of funds signed by our city financial officer totaling $7,000. Move the motion.
Second the motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkin-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
And a resolution authorizing adjustments to the tax and utility records. And just for the record, I did check with Laura, and this is the resolution that was sent to us by the tax collector.
Okay, then the previous one might not have been done. We'll have to check with
They
her and do it on the
supposedly
next one.
combine them, but we will double check tomorrow.
There are a few things, okay.
Move the resolution.
Second the motion?
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Precca-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
And a resolution authorizing special assessment of municipal liens for certain properties due to expenses incurred by the city relating to cleanup and board and secure.
Move the resolution.
Second the motion?
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Precca-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
And a resolution authorizing the city to transfer Block 188, lots 319 and 2320 to the adjacent property owner. for
Move the
consideration
resolution.
of $500.
Second?
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Precca-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
And a resolution authorizing the city to transfer Block 275, Lot 6 to the adjacent property owner, Christine Katz, for consideration of $50 plus all costs of transfer.
Move the resolution.
Second?
Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Precca-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the city to transfer Block 579, Lot 21, to the adjacent property owner for consideration of $501 plus all costs of transfer.
Move the resolution.
Second the motion?
Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Precca-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
And a resolution authorizing the city to transfer Block 375, Lot 1 to the adjacent property owner for the consideration of $100 plus all costs of transfer.
Move the resolution.
Second it?
Any comments?
Yeah, just one, since we did so many of these, just nice to get some blocks or lots off the city tax rolls and back into the hands of private ownership. So,
Anyone else? Thank you, Commissioner. Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Precca-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
A resolution to authorize water and sewer termination on November 28th due to payment default.
Move the resolution.
Second the motion?
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Precca-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
A resolution to authorize the forensic audit report prepared by Baker Tilly to be referred to the HUD Inspector General for possible civil and/or criminal investigation to be conducted.
Move the resolution?
Second the motion.
Any comments?
Yes. No, go ahead.
No, you go first.
You sure?
Don't fight over it.
Well, just I too, when I looked at the report and some of the underlying documentation, found things unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. It baffles the mind to see, if nothing else, the shoddy record keeping. And if the shoddy record keeping indicates more things that are bad, which seems to me that it does, then this really does need to be investigated by the HUD Inspector General, and the chips fall where they may. Whenever something is done like that, that is wrong. Whatever the subject, it needs to be checked into. And then we act accordingly after it's checked into. If HUD says nothing wrong, then HUD says nothing wrong. If HUD says criminal, then HUD says criminal. If HUD says sloppy accounting, then HUD says sloppy accounting. The audit says what the audit says. It's a very reputable firm. We went pretty far away to get it, so there would be no prejudice or bias in any manner to make sure that it was done fairly. Progress.
Yeah. I was going to say, this resolution is a result of the forensic audit. It is necessary that the findings be further investigated by the HUD Inspector General to determine if the discrepancies that have been found are criminal. The report has now been redacted and is available to the public. I have some copies here tonight if anyone would like one. If you're not at the meeting, an OPRA can be submitted to get a copy. The department has begun the process of looking at each of the open loans. Here are some examples of what we found so far. On one, the individual moved to Florida within months of obtaining the loan. This is a clear violation, as the loan had to be paid back if you're no longer living in the home. The second one is an individual that also moved out of state. This individual received 2 loans 2 years apart. You're supposed to wait 5 years between loans. The second loan was for the same roof that was replaced in the first loan. I usually don't need a new roof within 2 years. The second loan was for $7,900. There was no mortgage paperwork signed for the $7,900 loan. That individual was also in charge of a grant program in the city and was also monitored by the 5th floor employees. Another individual received $40,000 for renovation. He also has moved out of state and was advised about the payoff amount prior to his move, but the loan has not yet been paid. All of these have been turned over to collections. The problems found in the audit were a reflection of the fifth floor in the City Hall. The loans were part of the Planning and Economic Development Office, along with the consultant the city hired as an advisor for the loan programs prior to my taking office. There are new policies and procedures in place, so this will not happen again. I trust that my fellow commissioners will vote to have this sent to the HUD Inspector General.
Can I comment on that?
No. Thank you, Mr. Ayers. No, not at this time. Anyone else? No, Mr. Ayers. Mr. Ayers. Mr. Ayers, I'm not going to allow you to do that. You're going to be removed. You're going to be removed. I may have to do it myself, so stop. Commissioner Ennis?
Yes,
any comments?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Yeah, as I previously stated, there was a question when I was in college. They would ask you, did you skim, scan, or read? And I can honestly say I have read 75% of the document. The other 25%, because of other things that I'm attending to, I would have to say I have skimmed and scanned. I have not read the entire document. However, I've read 75% of the document. And I'm a little concerned with some of the things that I'm reading. I'm more concerned with Baker Tilly and Verschow and Krause. I'm just not prepared to move forward at this time, because you have to remember you're talking about people. And when you're talking about the integrity of people, you want to be precise and accurate. You don't want to throw names out. And those of you who were here, I brought it to your attention that night that there's no doubt there's things that you read. If you look microscopically, you can always find something that's questionable. And that's even with us. After we're gone, someone will come after us and they will look and read at what we've done, and I'm sure for certain they will find something that they will find causable for prosecution, plausible for investigation. I'm personally not prepared to move forward with making that recommendation, Mayor, so I'm going to say no for me.
Thank you. I heard the word human error come up, and we're all at fault of that. I agree with Mr. Carty. I think we spent $69,000 on this forensic look. That's a lot of money that we could have used somewhere else. I truly feel that if something wrong went with this, let's not pay for an attorney. I think HUD can do their own investigation. I would ask our city administrator, have we had any complaints from HUD and any letters or documentation that we've been doing something wrong that you can remember?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that you're aware of. And how far can we go, do you think? Not to put you on the spot, but I am.
Well, I've been here since July of 2010.
And we haven't received anything negative from HUD
Not that I recall.
that you recall. But something we can check into.
Sure.
Absolutely. So I thought we were all in here for saving money. I think that's what we need to do, is save money and spend it somewhere else. And if, in fact, as my friend stated over there, if there is something wrong, then we'll let the legal process go forward with it. Let HUD do what they have to do. Let HUD come down. If we haven't been inspected, let them come down and inspect our records. Let them tell us. It would only add strength to this company that we hired for $69,000. So I'm going to stand with Commissioner Ennis and say no.
I'd like to comment on the motion again according to Robert's Rules of Order. We get two bites at
Go-
the apple, but go ahead, go first.
No, go ahead, Commissioner. Go ahead.
This resolution is to send it to HUD to do the investigation.
But no, the way I read it, you were having that company.
No, that's already done.
No, he recommended to do it. What the resolution is to send the audit that the company did to HUD to investigate it for free.
Well, why do they have to do it? Why don't we do it?
Because it's free for them to do it.
No,
For-
it just
no,
says
no.
it was recommended by him to, what are you saying?
Hold on, Mr. Ayers. Jesus. I'm gonna have to
This
kick
was
him out.
just to send this report to HUD. That's all that the resolution is.
We're not paying anyone.
No, it's just to send The report that they did, they were recommending as part of their report that it be sent to HUD. So the resolution is to send the report to HUD as what Mr. Carty was speaking about to get it done, and they would.
I have no problems with that.
Oh.
I have no problems with
Make
that.
sure we-
But I don't want to pay any more money.
No, we're
it's
not.
No money.
That's the fact. No
And
more money.
There is no more money involved.
Okay.
Mayor, may I?
Go ahead.
I thank you for clarifying that, and I want to state for the record's sake that by no means am I diametrically opposing the views of my fellow commissioners. I'm glad for the clarification because I too had a problem with spending $69,000 to investigate a matter that happened before we got here where there does not appear to be any criminal intent. However, if this is going to be something that doesn't cost us any money, and I'm for sure that no one did anything here that was criminal, then so be it. But I'm glad that you clarified my point. I'm glad you clarified it because I don't think we have $69,000 to waste.
Can I?
Go ahead.
I didn't. You guys, I'm pretty sure voted to do the forensic audit. I just.
We did.
Yeah.
We did,
So
yeah.
so you voted to spend it 69,000. Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
I wasn't happy with the
I just wanted to
conclusion
make
of
sure I
it.
No,
couldn't
you're
quite
right.
remember.
You're
You know.
right. Joe, and you know what, Joe? You're right. I didn't think it was going to be that much money, but you're absolutely right.
Okay.
My concern was giving this
Spending
company
more
more money.
Right. I understand.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
A resolution to appoint Laura Burns as Deputy Municipal Clerk for a 3-year term beginning December 2nd, 2016.
I move the resolution.
I second the motion.
This is a wonderful
Any
place to insert
comments?
something positive. Laura and I went to school together from kindergarten.
Stand up, Laura.
Stand up, Laura.
You're
I'm
here.
going to be on TV.
Stand up, Laura. Yeah.
And she is truly an individual that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. She was always a very pretty little girl and very smart little girl. And she developed into a very brilliant woman with a wonderful family. I'm glad to see that she found her livelihood here in the city of Melville. So, Laura, congratulations to you. You've earned it, and you deserve a bow.
We haven't voted yet, Commissioner.
Thanks, Mayor.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes, and may I recognize her mother? I know her mother and her daughter are here. I don't know the gentleman that's there, but her mom and her daughter are here also. I never met your husband, so there you go. Moving on.
A resolution authorizing Fourth Amendment to professional service contract with Gruccio Pepper, DeSanto, and Ruth to act as special labor counsel for the balance of calendar year 2016 for certain labor matters in the Millville Police Department.
We need certification of funds.
Yep.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Pass that down, please.
Mayor,
Yes,
thank you.
I have to move you closer.
I move the resolution of certification of funds in the amount of $30,000.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
And a resolution to award the contract through the Middlesex Regional Educational Services Commission, a New Jersey state-approved cooperative pricing system, to Xtel Communications for the purchase of an independent internet circuit for the police department and to increase bandwidth speed for the city.
Certification of funds.
We do not need a certification of funds because this will be a line item in the budget in
Okay.
2017.
All right,
Sorry, I should have
it was
mentioned.
on there.
Move the resolution.
Second motion.
I'd like to make a comment. We are so back on technology within the police department. This is going to give us a great boost as the officers call from radio to radio or a base, which is going to improve our communication, which we need so badly. So thank you, commissioners. Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Perkins-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
And a resolution for referral of employee complaint matter against Commissioner Ennis to the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office.
Move the resolution.
Second the motion.
Any comments?
Yes, I'm going to make a comment. And the comment that I'm going to make is it's interesting that this is even on this document. And I'm going to talk about that later. But I'm glad that it's here, and I think it's good that you move forward whatever your intentions are. But it also shows the integrity of my enemies. I used to consider them rivals, but even a rival is civil. And a rival just has an opposing view for the same objective. An enemy, however, is quite different, very hostile. And this is a very hostile, and I want the city to be aware of it. This was very hostile. I won't call them by name, but this is what I call abra and cadabra. And there's always a tada. So this is a three-party situation. Abra, cadabra, and tada got together. And I'm going to lay that out later and let the chips fall where they may. But I think it's a disrespect. I think that it shows what we're working with for 3 years. And it's very unimaginable that this church that's done more in this city than any of these commissioners sitting here putting together will ever think about doing. And I'm just being honest with you. That you would attack the leader of this institution and refer a matter to the prosecution. I could share with you tonight a list of things that have happened here that should have been prosecutable, from creating shared services, from forcing people to be fired almost. There's all kind of things here that have happened that, and the list goes on and on. And I'm always cautioned, don't speak. But you know what I believe? I think I should speak, because the truth will always exonerate you. And I'm going to tell the truth, and I'm going to let the chips fall where they may. And this will cost the city some money. To move forward with this, I can guarantee you the county won't do it for free. So again, you're going to be imposed with only God knows how many thousands of dollars for what. So I'm going to vote against this, Mayor, by the way. Originally, I wouldn't have done that, but one of my fellow commissioners openly violated a city ordinance about 2 months ago, if that long. So tonight I'm going to execute the same exact thing that my fellow commissioner did. And I'm going to take that same position. So I'm going to vote, even though I shouldn't vote, according to the ordinance. I shouldn't vote. And usually I'm not interested in violating ordinances. I don't think you should. But I'm involved in a different type of battle here. So I'm going to have to take a stand, and I'm going to vote no against it. And then I'm going to let the other commissioners do as they feel led.
Mr. Sweet?
Yes. Well, let's talk about what's going on for, let's just go back 3 months. We don't have to go back 3 years. We could go back 3 years. But what had happened was, unfortunately, the church didn't pay their water bill. That's unfortunate. The city entered into an agreement so that the church could have time to pay their water bill. Again, the agreement was violated. That, again, is unfortunate. The city then gave the church another agreement. Again, the church violated that agreement, unfortunately. We can't keep providing services for free for anyone. At that point, the water was turned off. Now, I received a complaint from an employee, which I forwarded, told the employee to go to personnel, see the administrator, because of a hostile work environment complaint, because the employee received, allegedly, a call from commissioner to turn the water back on at the church without the bill being paid. The water was turned on by the employee. I checked and see if the water bill was paid. The water bill was not paid. Subsequently to that, on October 31st, the water bill was paid again with a check, which should not have been a check. None of you would have been able to pay that water bill with the check. You would have had to have certified funds or cash. I then happened to be downstairs in the finance office on November 1st when the check was returned, stop payment. So stop payment by the customer, not stop payment by the city, not anything else, but stop payment by the customer. Now, I don't expect not to have to file laws. Now, Mr. Ennis mentioned an ordinance that I violated. I don't think I violated the ordinance. I received a previous opinion from the DCA because I usually check on things before I do them. So I didn't agree with the solicitor's advice, so I didn't take it, and I ignore that at my own peril. So in any case, when an employee files a complaint, we have a certain procedure that we have to follow. For an ordinance that I did not vote for. Everybody else on this commission voted for that ordinance, except me. I thought it was a bad idea. So I said no. So under that ordinance, we have to send that complaint out to Labor Council. Now, we had sent a previous complaint out on Commissioner Ennis to Labor Council. Commissioner Ennis was not happy with the result. Commissioner Ennis told that attorney, at least according to him, that he would not be rehired because of that investigation. So we saw an opinion from a different labor attorney, not the same one. We got a verbal opinion, and the verbal opinion was to send this to the prosecutor. Now, I didn't wake up and decide to have somebody's order turned on and off and not pay the bill and stop payment on the check. I didn't do any of that. Okay, I wouldn't do any of that. But somebody up here or somebody out there did it, which resulted in this investigation. I don't like it. I certainly don't like it. I argue with Mr. Ennis a lot over many things, and I'd offered to help him an extreme number of times in which he declined that help. Certainly, we're not above the law. We are definitely not above the law. We don't deserve to have water service turned on just because we make a phone call. I don't deserve to have city employees come to my house and move appliances because I want them to, or cut my grass because I want them to. That's just not how it works. That's not fair to any other taxpayer or any other resident of this city. Now, I've already been to the prosecutor's office because, as I was told by the prosecutor, I don't need a resolution to report a crime. And she said she wasn't sure if it was a crime, and that's fine. But she has the job to investigate it and determine if it is or it isn't. And I have a duty to protect the taxpayer, especially since I'm in charge of revenue and finance, and the water turn-off and turn-ons and the bills getting paid all come under revenue and finance. I don't like it. I wish it never happened. I wish everyone paid their water and sewer bills on time. I don't want to see this happen to anybody. I don't want to see it happen to Mr. Ennis, although at this point he is correct. We are enemies. There is no doubt about that. I will not deny that. And it's unfortunate that it worked out that way. But that's the way it worked out. With that, progress.
Anybody else? Brock, I'm going to ask you because my concern was, why do we have to have a resolution?
The ordinance.
I don't think one is necessary.
Doesn't the ordinance say we have to vote on the recommendations of the attorney?
Well, what the ordinance calls for is that if we're going to refer this to an attorney for an investigation, we would need to have a resolution to do that. I don't think we need a resolution to make a referral to the county prosecutor. I mean, you can do it, you can have one, but I don't think it's required by the ordinance.
Well, we can. You know what? She's got it. If you want to take it off of there, take it off of there.
What I'm saying is, I agree with you. I don't think we need a resolution to be passed on the fact that we allege that a crime was committed. If you want to report a crime, you report a crime. Then it gets investigated.
The reason I asked for the resolution is because our ordinance says that based upon the recommendation of the attorney, we will vote on that action. So in my mind, now, the county, certainly the solicitor may differ with me. So if he says that doesn't apply, then it doesn't apply. But I read it as we have to vote on what the attorney recommends.
If we had had a report by an attorney doing an investigation,
Correct.
and if that attorney had recommended some type of remedial action, then I would agree. Then that would have to be implemented by a resolution. But I don't think we're there. It hasn't been sent out yet. I mean, at this point, really no action has been taken. So there's nothing in the ordinance that would require this to be referred to the county prosecutor.
One last thing. We can't investigate it from an attorney until we get the results back from the prosecutor, correct?
I think that's true, yeah. That's where it's going.
Well, my opinion on this is that I don't think we need to do a.
Do you want to table it?
We can table it and
fine with
move
me.
on.
Motion to table.
And a second?
Second.
Any other comments?
My concern, and I thank you for that, but I'm going to say to you now that next year my term will be up here. I'm returning to the field I've always known, and you folks will go on with what you're doing. but an effort has been made to destroy my integrity. And you cannot correct that. Once things are put in the paper, and once things are recorded audibly and viewed on YouTube, there will be doubts that will forever be instilled in people's minds. You can't get that back. You can't get that back. So I had asked that these gentlemen be here as superintendent of water, who I called, and asked him what was the procedure, because I didn't know the procedure. So I'm going to say this, and I'm going to do what Commissioner Suey did. Brock, let the chips fall where they may. So when I called the water superintendent, he says, I don't know either, but I'll get right back with you, Commissioner, who happens to be an individual that I have a tremendous amount of respect for, a very wonderful young man who I've never had a problem with, as I have not with most of the people at the city. He called me back, and he said, we went down to look at the matter, and the water is back on. Whatever needs to happen, you guys can take care of it Monday. I thanked him. Not once did I ask him to do anything. Not once did I suggest that he did anything. Not once did I threaten him. I mean, I went to school with Laura since I was 5 years old. I'm sure she's never known me to threaten anyone. There's a woman in this room I've been married to for 30 years. Never known me to threaten anyone. It's just not what I do. It's not my nature to threaten people about doing things. What happened, this individual was coerced, and he was made to lie.
Let the commissioner
to save
speak,
his
please.
job.
Thank
That's
you.
what happened. He was told, if you don't do this, you could lose your job. So he was made to lie and has been ashamed to even look at me ever since this happened, because in his heart, he knows that it didn't happen. And I'd asked for him to be here tonight, but he couldn't because of the way we do business. Now, I'm taking it on the edge by going here, but when you involve my integrity, that puts me in a different place. I have to protect me. And Mayor, when I got elected, I came here with reputation, and it was a good reputation. It was so solid, I didn't have to knock on neither door to get elected, because people had seen my worth, they knew my wealth, they knew what I had accomplished. And to have people to take my name and throw it in the gutter for their own gain, I think it's terrible. So I'm glad that we're reconsidering whether this is a prosecutable case, but how do you get back when your name is thrown out there in a mud puddle?
You'll get it back when the, oh, I'm sorry, I'll get the comment when he's done there.
I think we've said enough.
No, I want my second bite at the apple according to Robert's Rules of Order.
Second bite of the apple. Where's
Yes,
your
sir.
apple? Go ahead.
All right, first of all, the only individual that could have fired that person is Commissioner Ennis. He is the appointing authority for that individual. If he's instigating that I would do it or somebody else would do it, I don't have the authority to fire that individual. Mr. Ennis promoted that individual. I did not. He did. So as for that. As for integrity, we have had a couple of employee complaints, and this is history, and it's part of the record, come back on Mr. Ennis, which he was found guilty. Now, I didn't do those complaints. I coerced no one to make a complaint. Why would I? I really have no reason to do that. Quite frankly, I have better things to do. We have seen cases where lease agreements were entered into that Mr. Ennis signed that I fixed so that he wouldn't get in trouble because it exceeded $40,000 a year. I went out of my way so that he would not get in trouble. There are just certain, I got to sign copies if you'd like me to give those to the paper. So it's not, I don't want to do that. And I don't like getting told that I'm doing things. I didn't cause any of this. I didn't cause any of it 2 weeks before an election. I did not do that. I did not pay the bill. I did
Commissioner?
not stop payments on the check.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead. Thank you.
Thank
I'll
you.
finish with my closing
Thank
remarks.
you. Very good. Thank you. Again, the dais isn't the place where we should be actually conducting this kind of affair. So we'll move on. Thank you. So I heard it was a table.
There's
Am
a
I right?
motion to table
We
and a
need a
second.
motion and a second.
I believe,
I just need a
Commissioner,
roll
did
call.
you second it? You seconded it, right? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ennis.
Well, the $40,000 that Commissioner Sui was talking about is a piece of equipment
Dave,
that I bought
Dave,
to clean the streets.
Dave,
I love
Dave,
cleaning
we got to
streets.
vote. Vote yes or
So, yeah,
no.
we're going to vote.
On
but I
tabling
need
it.
to clear that up.
Table.
Though.
Table.
Yes.
Commissioner Perka Compari.
Yes.
Commissioner Sui.
Yes.
Mayor Santiago.
Yes.
A resolution amending Chapter 6 of the Millville Police Department Rules and Regulations, which were previously adopted on September 6th, and adding Section 6.1, repeated violations.
Move the resolution.
Second the motion.
This is, I believe these were add-ons that we did within the police department just to straighten our policies for repeated violations. Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Precca Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
And a resolution authorizing shared services agreement between the city and the County of Cumberland Office on Aging for the Meals on Wheels program for 2017.
Move the resolution.
Second the motion.
Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Precca Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution to appoint Regina Burke as the administrator part-time effective December 2nd, 2016.
Move the resolution.
Second the motion.
Any comments?
Yes. The reason we did this part-time was that Mr. Ennis had made that recommendation a while back to do this as a part-time position and not a full-time position to save some money. And Regina's a good employee. She's a purchasing agent, and believe me, there's nobody up here that she makes madder than me. Because every time I go to her and ask for money, she makes sure that the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and then an argument ensues, and then I have to do what she wants because I don't have the power to do it without her. So we always find a way to do it, and when any of you guys had come to me when I was in charge of finance and you needed to find a way to do something, Regina's been a great asset in doing that, including out at the, anywhere really. So with that, progress.
So Regina, stand up so we can give you a
No, I
nice
gotta
round
do
of
it too,
applause.
You got to vote first.
Yeah, give her a nice little applause. We'll vote for her anyway. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Ennis?
I just need to pardon for a second. I think a lot of Regina. She's one of the people here that I have a lot of respect for everyone, but I've seen her at work. I've seen her perform in her profession, and I believe that she is a phenomenal individual and a great asset and a contribution to the duties and responsibilities at the city of Millville. However, in my observation, I've discovered that there are times when we need to break the paradigm and we need to shift our method. One of the things that I believe that we need fresh people with fresh ideas. And one of the things, thank you, Commissioner Sui, I did suggest that we go with a part-time person, but I also believe that that part-time person should be someone who has a wealth of knowledge in government affairs. And I said part-time because if you could pick up someone who's retired, who already has health benefits, that would be of no cost to the city. So while I believe that Regina is exceptional in her performance, I'm not convinced that she is most reputable when it comes down to government affairs for the city of Millville. I'm going to have to decline and say no.
Thank you.
Commissioner Precca Compari?
I feel that Regina is very reputable. Any question that I have, I go to her about personnel, about budget, about and purchasing, of course. She has told me no when I can't do what I want to do just because I think it might be a good thing. She makes me follow the rules, and I appreciate that. And she tells me yes when yes is appropriate. So I am voting yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Is this the roll call part, or are you asking me for a comment again?
This is the roll call.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Santiago?
As I explained earlier how we promoted our sergeant, I would like for us to go back to that. I don't think we did any other interviews. We actually went in-house. And I know there was other people that applied for this job. I've also have sat down with Regina. She knows what she's doing. I'm only going to vote for this because it's a part-time job, and she's here. And now we can't go out for anyone else. So, yes.
Congratulations, Regina.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
A resolution appointing Regina Burke, the Public Agency Compliance Officer, for a one-year term beginning December 2nd.
Move the resolution.
Second the motion.
Any comments?
Yeah, that's to make sure that we comply with parts of the contract,
Okay, very good.
different contracts.
Any other comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
No.
Commissioner Precca Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
And a resolution accepting donation from the County of Cumberland of 2 portable light trailers for use by the Millville Office of Emergency Management.
Move the resolution.
Second the motion.
Any comments?
I have one. We need to start looking at how much stuff we're accumulating for emergency management. It's good to have it, but
For an emergency.
we're getting a lot of stuff.
We have no place to store it.
Well, I know, we're gonna have to do something, because these are items that we need, and the best thing about it is that they're free. We're getting them free from
So
the
we have to
government.
maintain them.
But we have to maintain them, exactly. So hopefully we never have to use them, but if we do, they're there. Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Preckett-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Do you want to do this?
New
No
business,
further
please.
resolutions,
please.
Mayor.
New business.
I gotta go to the eye doctor next week.
I make a motion to authorize the city clerk administrator to advertise the following bids for the project known as Vine Street Improvement, and also RFPs for the following professional service contracts: municipal attorney, special counsel, city prosecutor, city public defender, conflict city prosecutor, conflict city public defender, city zoning board attorney, city planning board attorney, independent hearing officer, municipal bond counsel, municipal auditors, advertising, marketing, public relations, community development block grant advisor firm, financial advisor firm, insurance broker of record for employee benefit program, planning consultant, engineer for special projects, and city appraiser.
Second the motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Preckett-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the special events on public lands application, mammogram van Atlantic Medical Imaging, sponsored by Gateway Community Action Partnership, to be held on November 29th from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the police parking lot. Jolly Holly 5K Run, sponsored by the Millville Municipal Alliance Committee, to be held on High Street, November 25th, 2016, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And the annual Christmas Parade, sponsored by the Greater Millville Chamber of Commerce. I thought the Millville Recreation Department sponsored that too. It's not on here. Anyway, that's on November 25th, 2016, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And the Soul of the Season's 16th annual holiday event, sponsored by the Millville Development Corporation, to be held on High Street, December 10th, 2016, from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Second the motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Preckett-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
And a motion for raffle licenses on behalf of the Millville Elks. Bingo licenses on behalf of the Millville Elks,
Parish of All Saints.
on behalf of the Parish of All Saints, and on behalf of St. Mary Magdalene Regional School Alumni Association for bingo at St. John Bosco's.
Second the motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Ennis?
Yes.
Commissioner Preckett-Compari?
Yes.
Commissioner Sui?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Nothing further to come before the board, Mayor.
Thank you. We've now reached the public comment portion of our meeting. Anyone who would like to address the commission, please go to the podium, state your name and address your concerns, and limit your comments to 5 minutes.
Tom Ayers, City of Millville. What is the status of the comprehensive action plan for the team for a better Millville?
I'm not sure what are you talking about?
Well, when you ran for office, you said within 90 days you would have a CAP for the city of Millville within 90 days. No response?
No response.
No response.
So there's nothing there? In your election thing, comprehensive action plan within 90 days, with a committee be formed with 120 days. We're now 900 days into it, okay?
Okay, so we got a forensic audit done.
Oh, that's it? Okay. Oh, that's great then. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
90 days, not nothing.
Mr. Ayers, thank you. Anyone else?
Eric Ripa, Millville. It's the first time I've been here. I can see that it's all about money saving for taxpayers and everything. I wrote a letter to the city. I think can't remember say her name. She told me to come to one of the city council meetings. I live over on 6th and E Street by the high school. They're going around right now doing all the concrete work that South Jersey Gas and everybody did. On one part of my property, there's no sidewalk. I live in a school zone. During football season, Battle of the Bands, whatever's going on over there, I have people constantly walking across my yard. I've tried numerous times to make my yard look good. So the other day, about a week ago, I guess, I came here, said I want to put a fence up all the way to the curb. I was told I'm not allowed to. But if somebody walks across my yard and decides to possibly sue me, how does that make any sense?
What, did you talk to the zoning officer? Is that
I talked to the zoning officer,
okay?
and then I was told to write to the city clerk. So I wrote a letter to the city clerk.
Okay,
I spoke to you, I think.
I'll
Aaron
look
Crippa.
into. Did he explain to you how far you could put it from the end of your?
Yeah,
from
I
the
could
curb?
put a fence all the way up to the curb. It has to be 3 feet.
From the curb.
Correct.
Okay.
But it's not what I want. You constantly have people walking on the streets when there's football games, track and field, whatever. There's going to be an accident one day. It's not even a stop sign over there. You have people constantly driving down that street fast.
So, sir, you're asking for a sidewalk,
Yes,
and then you want to put a fence up.
No, that's
Okay.
not what I'm asking. I'm asking for a sidewalk. If I can't get a sidewalk, I want a fence put up.
Okay.
You did 7th Street from Broad all the way down to 49. Brand new sidewalks all the way down, even repaved it. But there's no sidewalks around Memorial High School.
6 and E.
6 and E. It's not just my one piece of property. It's only about 112 feet worth of sidewalk. You go across the street, there's no sidewalk on the football stadium side. Take a drive down there one day when there's a football game. There's people driving like assholes, excuse my language.
Yeah,
It
don't use that
aggravates me.
language.
I'm sorry.
Do me a
And
favor. Do
there's-
me a favor. Before you leave, give us your name, your address, your phone number, and we'll look into it tomorrow.
Okay.
It's that
But like I
simple.
said, it's not just me.
Right.
It's even across the street.
Okay.
You have kids it's bus stops. You have people walking in the middle of the street pushing wheelchairs. There's going to be something happen one day, and it's going to come back on the city. And obviously, we were talking about people suing each other or lawsuits or whatever. You're going to have one. I've lived there 17 years. I've seen too much going on over there. People come down 6th Street when they're getting chased by cops, go right through that fence.
All right.
So,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Before you leave, make sure we get that information. Thank you. Seeing no one else, well. Always happens.
Good evening, Marty Brown, Millville, Cedar Street. I don't get out to these meetings often. I probably should do more to hear more about what's going on in the city. It's pretty interesting, but my work prevents me from making it. But I had to make an exception to get here tonight because I wanted to vouch for the character of my friend and my pastor here, whose character has been besmirched in the media and social network and all these other things that caught my attention. I moved here in 2007, found this church. I'm a Christian, and moved here in 2007 and decided to find a church home. Went to several churches in the area and ended up settling at In His Presence Worship Center after hearing a sermon and being welcomed and just learning just receiving so much love from Pastor Ennis and In His Presence Worship Center. I wasn't a Christian when I moved here, but I found Christ and found In His Presence Worship Center and have known him since, like I said, 2009. Known him to be a man of integrity, a man of great compassion, very a generous and compassionate person who's concerned about the community, who's always been concerned about the downtrodden and the underprivileged and the disenfranchised. So I find that to be an admirable characteristic to have, and I believe that's what got him in this seat. And I don't believe you can get this seat being a man of poor character. So as he's been portrayed so thoroughly by people who have ill feelings toward him. So I thought it'd be appropriate that someone would stand up and say something positive for his character. He's done a great number of things before I got here, and since I've been here, he's opened his church up to a GED program where dozens of people have since gotten their GEDs, given out tons of food through his food bank at the Epiphany Center. I mean, he's been a tremendous contribution to this community, so it really saddens me to see him being so discredited and treated with such disrespect and disregard, as if he just strolled in here as someone to just throw his weight around. He's been incredibly helpful and supportive to the community that's been overlooked largely, and I just felt compelled to speak that truth, so the narrative is not as skewed as it's been for the last few months. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
Emma Andrews, Millville. I have one question about the lots that were being transferred. Are they big enough to build a house on?
No, this is, the statute allows us to sell privately to adjacent owners, but they have to be, they have to be unimproved, they have to be undersized, and in addition, the tax assessor has to agree with the value. And we actually sent these to all the adjacent owners, let them submit sealed bids. Some of them weren't for very much. And so we needed an opinion from the assessor, and he indicated that those lots were nominal. They're just little slivers and pieces of ground that really wouldn't have any value except maybe to the person next door.
So really, it's good for the city because you get to collect taxes on that little piece of property, right?
And it gets rid of these little odd-sized pieces of property that can't be built.
Lynn, I wanted to ask you too, the houses that are being torn down, I had heard that they're only allowed to build a single-family home.
That's not in effect yet. That's what we're trying to do with the changes that we're making to the master plan. That should be done by January, and then we have to change the zoning ordinances to comply with that.
And no
That's what we're trying to get done.
Okay.
So that's in the process.
Okay. I have a story about David. You remember my daughter?
Vaguely.
Michelle. You rode on the bus together. A couple of people here got really excited. I just told them how you beat up my daughter. You two were fighting over a piece of paper on the bus.
You know, I've heard you before say this, but I got to correct you, though. I came from Commercial Township. Me and your daughter didn't ride the bus
But
together.
you were in that area for some reason, okay? I think you were visiting or something.
Nice
But
girl, though.
Anyhow, you didn't beat up my daughter. You were arguing over a piece of paper or something.
I don't remember none of that.
Yeah,
but
well,
go ahead.
that's what happened. But everybody got excited, so no ill will, my dear. I worked with you real hard on that church, too.
Yep, I know you did.
You got to remember that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Seeing no one else. Well, where'd you come from?
Hiding behind the
She
pole.
hide behind there.
Hiding behind the pole.
I
So
never
good.
saw you.
Really?
Never
I
saw
was
you.
ninja.
Oh, I guess you were.
Kim Cardy, Millville. I'm so excited to see new faces, and I hope y'all will keep coming out. So, what I'm here to talk about is Christine, who owns the Phenom Factory, is partnering with the community and some members who are interested in trying to do something really positive for the community. So, if anybody is interested in helping us, we've partnered, well, she's partnered with us and the school. Our intent is to provide 20 families a really great opportunity to be a family for a day, and to really treat them to something special for the holidays. Well, we're looking for some donations, and they can be dropped off at Christine's, or you can give us a phone call. We're looking for socks, warm socks, books, things the families can do together, family games, family gifts, blankets, wrapping paper, anything that a family can really enjoy together. We're also looking for gift certificates of any value, Walmart, Target, Five Below,
those types of stores. So if anybody's interested in helping us do something really positive for the community through Christine and the Phenom Factory, she was too shy to stand up. So I'm simply the messenger. We'd really appreciate the support in doing something really fun for families.
Where's the factory at, Kim?
102?
South 8th.
102 8th Street?
South 8th.
Yeah.
If
Yeah, she's
Christine,
got a really awesome facility there.
Christine and Kim, if I can suggest, the police department does a big Thanksgiving for a lot of people they put out, and that might be someone that, or you may want to reach out to the PBA presidents, and it's something that you guys can do together in raising funds, and not only that, getting
Sure.
people that are cooking turkeys to also bring in items.
That
So
would
it
be
might
great.
work together,
That
just
would
so
be
you know.
awesome. I wasn't aware
Okay,
of that.
it's Ralph Sotero, PBA president.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rick Rouse from Millville. I just have a question. As a public servant from Millville, we have an internal affairs when there's an investigate or a complaint that comes up. But when it comes up against a commissioner or anybody in that within that respective your department, who hears that complaint? Who would hear a complaint like that of such nature?
Brock will give
Rick,
you the answer.
what the commission did was, that was a problem, because at the beginning of the term of this group of commissioners, there was a complaint against a commissioner. And so the ordinance really wasn't very helpful at that point, because it really didn't deal with a complaint by an employee against a commissioner. And so what happened was the commission amended the ordinance, and they provided a procedure that if a complaint is filed by an employee, that there would be an independent investigation, that the investigator would not be appointed by the commissioner that was the target of the investigation, and then the Board of Commissioners would get the report from the investigator, and they would receive it basically in camera. That means in a, without the commissioner that was the target being involved, and then they would make they would decide what to do. There's not many things they could do, but there are a few things that they could do.
Okay. And that's the cost of the expense of the city then, at that
Yes.
point.
Oh, yeah.
Because
all of those are expensive.
Right. Because that's an incurred expense, because if the police department has their own internal affairs, they're working that, so it's not any extra expense for that. So, but I mean, I know you guys agreed in reference to this HUD to move that thing forward. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to see that go forward. I don't think anybody's here trying to put any ill will towards any one commissioner. The fact is, if it was one of us that was an employee by the city or anything like that, you're put up for official misconduct. That's an official misconduct charge. They have to investigate it and clear your name and let it fall where it falls. You know what I'm saying? We can't continue to. I mean, I just find it amazing that when that report comes out and people all of a sudden know what's going on, they want to come up to the podium and take a stance on what's going on. But this has been going on for years, so let it fall where it falls, and that's how it is. You know what I mean? The redacted, you said you have copies of that. You know, I know. I'm pretty sure, like you know myself, that report's probably would have been out there even before that. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be tough. Because, I mean, if we get a report coming back and they do want to, say HUD comes back with an investigation, do we have to incur any expense if they're going to go after anybody except for just the monies that we're going to try to get back?
We're trying to get the money back now on our own, so
Okay.
that's in progress. I would assume that they take care of it because they would be the ones prosecuting.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Clark Hewitt, Cedar Street, Noah. I'm new to the meeting. I only have one question for Mr. Ennis. You say you're open to moving this situation onto the prosecutor and letting chips fall where they fall. My one question to you is, in outright honesty, did somebody or did not somebody stop the payment on the check to the city for the water terminal?
Absolutely.
And could you, again, in letting the chips fall, explain why you would have the water turned on, or a representative of yourself have it turned on a Saturday, on overtime, and then post a check post a check and then cancel a check. What would happen if I did that with my city water or city sewer or anybody here?
Very good
What would
question. Very good question, and I can answer that easily. The reason why the check was stopped was because there was thoughts that there had already been a payment made. It was an era of administration. One of the things that you're new to this area that you don't know, so let me help you.
Just 1 minute.
Okay.
I'm not new at all to this area. I've been in this area for over 20 years. I'm now retired.
Okay.
And as I said at a town hall meeting, I got time on my hands. So I'm going to be a pain in the butt to anybody that sits in those chairs.
Come help
Not
out.
It's just,
We need you.
tonight's your turn.
Well, and it's fine. It's been my turn all my life,
Okay.
sir. You're 51 years too late. It's always been my turn.
Answer his question.
So let me answer your question, though. The fact of the matter is, geographically, the church is located in what we call, some refer to as the worst area of Millville. It makes it difficult to attract administrative staff. It makes it difficult sometimes just to do the things that you need to do to operate. We struggled with even returning to that area because of what it has been allowed to become. Basically what happened, it became a Section 8 territory. Not that there's a problem with Section 8, but what happened is that's the area that it became. So, and it became an area where a lot of people that were hustling to that had issues. That became challenging for the church, okay? So I want you to understand administratively some of the challenges sometimes that we have, because when people read and hear that folks are getting killed next door to a church, they're not looking to bring their families there. I thank God, though, for the people who have endured and who have stayed there. Many of them you see here who have weathered the storm. But to answer your question, yeah, I authorized that to be stopped because it was brought to my attention that payment had already been made. Again, that was an administrative issue. The fact of the matter is, though, the whole fabrication about someone threatening this individual and calling him and saying, turn this water on or I'm going to get you, it never happened.
That's why I didn't ask you that, because I don't.
Yeah.
I'm neutral there.
Never happened.
That, as you say, will come out in the end.
So with that, I think they should move it forward. I have no problem because I know who I am and I know that there's nothing to hide.
But
So
just
let it go. Let them do what they want.
Just to rest assured, I too, when I moved to Millville and married the woman that I married, I lived on Green Street, 11 West Green Street. I know what you're talking about. I have a stepdaughter that lives on Oak Street. A man died in her backyard pretty near the last time. So I know. But I just wanted to know from you.
Absolutely.
Why you stopped the check.
Absolutely. And I think I've answered your question satisfactorily. I'd like to talk to you after the meeting. Perhaps you can help me to deal with some of the issues that are still bombarding and haunting Center City. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Seeing no one else, I close the public portion part of this meeting. Comments of commissioners. Commissioner Sui.
Give me 1 second here, Mr. Mayor. You know, we are all a study in contrast. We all have good sides and bad sides, sometimes downright evil sides. Sometimes the downright evil sides comes to you in a good face. Sometimes it doesn't. But I'll tell you this, every public official has to be held to an extremely high standard. Ultimately, we're held to that standard by you, the voters. Now, you can think what I did was evil. I really, you know, it'd be unfortunate if you did think that, but it's very unfortunate when anyone uses the power of their office, and I'm not even going to say that it happened in this case, regardless of what I believe, but when somebody uses that power or appears to use that power, public confidence is undermined. And that's another reason that it needs to be investigated and checked into. You also have the right to an open government, to know that this stuff's going on and that it's being checked into. You know, the sequence of events that occurred, I couldn't have planned them. I could not have said, hey, turn the water off, hey, turn the water on, hey, do it on a Saturday, hey, issue an overtime report, hey, file an employee complaint. I'm pretty smart, but I'm not that smart. I can't plan things out that far. So, you know, it's all unfortunate that it occurred, but we made a lot of interesting investigations, including the procedures at the tax collector's office were wrong for turning the water on and off, as well as for granting extensions and agreements that should have never been granted to begin with. So we're fixing all that. And there's really not much I think I need to say at this point. So hopefully by next meeting we'll have a new commissioner. And we'll have 5 people up here. And we won't have any more tied votes. So progress.
We will have a 5th commissioner. Commissioner Perry? Oh, I'm sorry, Dave. I'm losing my
You know,
voice.
for nearly 20 years, I worked for South Jersey Industries as a collector, and my responsibility was to serve the public. I can't even begin to count to you the times when churches, businesses, restaurants, all sorts of people would call with issues concerning their gas. My gas was turned off. I forgot to pay the bill, blah, 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 and so forth and so on. And I remember going above and beyond to make sure, because with our company, the objective was not to turn service off, because if you turn the service off, you may never get paid. The objective was to restore the service and to help the customer to understand that we appreciate what you're doing as a customer, and to set up arrangements when and necessary. I wish this was about water, but I can tell you it's not about water. It's not about water. Millville is so racially divided, it's pathetic. I'm never going to stop. Because
Calm down. Let the man speak.
It is real. And there's a new type of lynching that takes forth, and it's lynching through the media. And
Folks, we need hope, Commissioner, with all due respect. We're going to listen to the Commissioner. If not, we're going to stop this meeting, and I don't think you want that. Let's hear the Commissioner, and let's hear everybody else that has to speak. Thank you.
This is like, honestly, I'm glad that this is my last experience, and I'm very saddened because I've never been a person to play race card, but I can tell you what, some of the things that I've gone through and seen and experienced, it's ridiculous. It is really ridiculous. And the fact of the matter is, I'm glad to be moving forward. So I apologize to those of you who had to read in the media that things happened and that the service was disconnected and that we didn't pay the water bill. I'm very sorry that you had that first impact, that I called and threatened someone to turn water on. None of that happened. It didn't happen. But there is issues that nobody wants to talk about. And I will be so glad when my term is up so that I can move myself away from this city, because I'm ashamed of who you are. I'm ashamed of what you do. I'm ashamed of what you've become. I don't see us moving forward. So having said that, tonight I leave here very disenchanted, because it's unheard of, the things that we see that goes on. And had I did what my enemies have done and cried, foul, and went to the prosecutor's office, there'd be a whole lot of cases prosecutable, because I've seen some of everything in the world that has taken place, but I have chosen the higher road. I've seen employees who've been forced to leave. We've lost 33 employees since I've been elected in 3 years. 18 retired. Some of them would have stayed, but they went. And then there were others who, I don't know what happened. It was just crazy. So tonight, Mayor, I cannot say progress. I say pain. That's my word. It's pain. It's not progress, because we're enemies. And that's the way it's always been, because I will never be Team Pareca. I will never be Team Sui. I will never be Team Santiago. I will always be Team for the people, and that's the way it is.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Perry.
I thought I had it with me. I just want to clear up one thing that Commissioner Ennis said about the employees. 33 may have left this year, but under the previous commission prior to us, it was over 100. So it has nothing to do with us. Progress.
And I believe, Commissioner, if I can comment on that, that was due to funds because of the
There were layoffs.
Layoffs
They
of
laid
2007
off,
and 8.
And there were also a lot of people retired when they heard that the layoffs were coming.
Well, I got a statement that I need to make, and it's going to reflect our last meeting that I wasn't here and Commissioner Ennis wasn't here. So the following day, I received a lot of phone calls after that last meeting on November 1st. Or should I say, was it a town meeting? The majority of phone calls I received were shocked at what they had witnessed watching the meeting. It is my understanding a lot of people in the audience made reference to how disappointed they were that I was not in attendance, and also alluded to the fact that I had something to do with Commissioner Ennis not being in attendance either. I've been in law enforcement for over 30 years. I've dedicated myself to serving my community faithfully and upholding the law. In all my years of service, I've never run from confrontation. I've always faced problems head on, so the fact that it was implied that I was purposely not at the November 1st commission meeting was very, very upsetting to me and untrue. I had a personal issue, and I think all of you would agree. To me, family comes first. I had a conversation with our city administrator, Susan Robustello, and she asked me during a conference call that we were having on another issue, could we speak about this? And my answer to her was, let me call you on a different line where other people wouldn't hear. At that point, I informed her there was 2 situations that had come up that should have been on Monday, and unfortunately, they came on Tuesday. And I had to answer those things. Remember, family comes first. For a commissioner to say they didn't know where I was is part correct, because I didn't tell anybody where I was going. It was a personal matter and no one's else business. However, for no one to state that I was not attending due to this issue, I feel that it was very untrue and unacceptable, that no one stood up to at least say this was a personal matter. The prepared statement read by Commissioner Sui regarding possible criminal charges against Commissioner Ennis, in fact, are true. Then I believe he should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. But the key words in what I just said are, in fact, if they are true. Just like when allegations were made against other commissioners up here, I believe statements such as innocent until proven guilty were said. Trust me, as a prior law enforcement officer in this city and throughout southern New Jersey, 0 tolerance for violations of the law. That's my personal feeling. 0 tolerance. Anyone who willfully breaks the law, but again, no one should be convicted in court of a public opinion. That meeting was about that. This is why we have allegations that will be fully looked into by the professionals, not us up here, but by the professionals who are trained to do so. And in closing, I'm very disappointed and saddened at what transpired on November 1st. And the way things were portrayed to appear that I purposely avoided the meeting. There is a saying, the truth is the truth, even if no one believes it. A lie is still a lie if everyone believes it. More people need to remember that. And I'll say it again, family comes first in the Santiago family. Thank you. I move to adjourn this meeting. Can I have a
Meeting adjourned.
second? That's it? This meeting adjourned. Thank you.